Today, we're diving into some very normal and totally healthy content.
Men are a lot like newborn babies. Let me explain.
Women are adding less value in society.
Women know on an innate level that their values derive from their looks.
If you're the female...
Well, anyways, as you can tell, I am unfortunately a woman, which apparently disqualifies me from thinking logically.
Women are illogical and they're irrational.
Kind of weird because I'm a software developer with a computer science degree, but sure. So like any woman desperate for wisdom, I turn to the most reliable source of life advice: TikTok. While I received this very helpful feedback on what my role in society should be, I'll be making a Milkmaid dress. Because nothing screams submission like a square neckline and floral patterns. Which, to be fair, is a nice break from pretending I belong in tech meetings. The first topic I want to explore is how to be a good wife, because we all know that is all women's highest purpose in life.
Dude, you need to make money. The man is the protector and the provider of the family, and if you're the female, well then you nurture and you support. That's your role. Is it the father's job to come home and make sure the kids are fed? Well, no, not in my world.
Honestly, I just find it so funny that he's like, okay, it's not my job that the kids are fed, sir. They are your children too. It's your wife's and your job. And also, you see how his job has an end to it? Like, okay, he's protecting the family the whole time, but as long as we're not in some sort of war, I don't feel like that is like the whole day that you're spending protecting your family. A lot of women say that the woman never has a break. If you're the homemaker, if you always have to take care of the kids, and if your man comes home from work, he has to relax, but the woman has been working all day long as well. This also goes into chores. I always hear that women are supposed to cook, da-da-da. Your role as the woman is to take care of the family, basically. And I just don't see how that has to include the cooking. You can divide your chores the way that works for you. You know, like my dad always cooked. My mom, she gets very irritated by doing so. She gets very stressed out, and my dad loves it, so he's doing it. And I really don't subscribe to the idea that the man is not supposed to do any household chores just because he works a job. I work a job as well, and I do household chores. I don't see why that it would be so difficult to do. But then they say things like, oh, but if something breaks, then I'm gonna fix that for you, or I'm gonna do the oil change for the car. You don't have to do that every single day, but you have to cook every single day. You have to do the laundry a lot more often than a light bulb breaks. So it's still a very unfair division of labor.
Definitely have to teach girls in the West how to be a good girlfriend for you, because a lot of them come with bad habits. They want to do girls' nights out.
You don't want her to be able to go out with her girlfriends? Why? Because you're scared that she's going to the club and meeting some guy? These guys always talk about how women are supposed to trust their husband so much and have full trust. But you gotta trust your partner as well. If she says she's going out with the girls to have fun, she's probably just wanting to go out with her friends and have fun. It might be different if she has a past of cheating, but at the same time, then she will find another way to cheat on you. And that's not really on women as a whole, that is on her for being a cheater. Just like if one guy cheats, it doesn't mean that all men cheat.
They want to dress like hoes. They want to twerk in public. A lot of girls think that it's okay to behave in certain ways even when they have a man, and your job as the man is to let her know, no, this is not how it goes. You want a relationship with me, that comes with rules and regulations and boundaries, and your job as the man is to be able to enforce those boundaries. How do you enforce it? Never physically. Always, I will leave you. You will go back to the fucking streets.
Yay for him for having boundaries, and I'm not against having boundaries, but first of all, assuming that she came from the streets is a little weird. I don't know if that's just a saying, but I'm just taking it for face value here, okay? I like that he's saying you should not enforce your boundaries physically. That is a good thing. So I'm pretty proud of this guy. If you have peeked into the online discussion about modern women, etc., you have probably heard of Fresh and Fit. Those were the guys that were just talking right there. It's two guys, the quiet one and the obnoxious one, having a podcast where they invite a bunch of women to sit around a table just so they can argue with them for 3 hours straight about why women today are entitled, delusional, and not wife material. Basically, it's the debate club nobody asked for, disguised as a dating advice show. Well, I found out that the obnoxious Fresh and Fit guy actually published a book. I know, shocking. I didn't expect him to be literate either. You know what isn't shocking though? The title of the book. It's Why Women Deserve Less, and this guy is basically summarizing the content of the book.
Women are adding less value in society, so they deserve less out of it.
So, now that we know how to be good wives and girlfriends, it's time for infantilization. Because yes, you are supposed to run his household, raise the kids, and be his peace, but really, you're not capable of independent thought. Okay, it says... Damn, I'm sorry. I am very blind, and I'm not wearing my glasses for this. I love women, but they need to stop pretending they're independent. A man needs a woman's empathy. A woman needs a man logic. She will self-destruct without leadership. Most women had fathers who were bad leaders, so they inevitably don't trust other men now. I'm confused, to be perfectly honest. What does he mean by self-destruct? Like, okay, it doesn't have comments, so nobody asked. Also, this tangent about women not having good leaders as fathers, I don't know how that belongs in here. I don't know. I'm just stupid. You know, I'm a woman, so... Self-destruct.
Women are a lot like newborn babies. Let me explain. They're extremely needy for attention, and they'll do anything to get it regardless of what they actually want. So let's say they want attention from you. You cave and you give it to them. But as soon as they get it, they look at you and say, why did he give me attention? See, because they have their conscious and their subconscious needs. On a subconscious level, they want you to lead. But on a conscious needy level, they want attention, attention, attention. So that leads them. But as soon as they get it, their subconscious kicks in and goes, why isn't he leading? What is going on? They're like babies. You can't listen to them.
Okay. And this guy has more of these, okay? He has more of these.
Your life will get easier when you start seeing women as children. They're gonna cry, they're gonna whine for attention, they're gonna not know what's going on, they have no self-awareness. And when you understand this, you can handle them better. You can treat them better. When you handle them as an equal, you'll get killed, you'll get smoked, because they don't operate that way. Their minds don't work that way. They are children, they should be treated as such. And go to my link in bio for dating guides to help you date better.
I'm sorry, but I love the self-awareness, saying women are not self-aware, and then basically saying, treat them as children, date them. Girl, what? What? I hate this.
This is why you can't take anything women do personally. Women are illogical and they're irrational, and they do things all the damn time they regret. They didn't mean to do. That is quote unquote out of character. Think about how many times a woman's like, sorry, I didn't mean that. They're emotional. And so when they do things to you, when they say things to you, you have to understand it's not because of you. It's because they can't control their female nature.
The female nature is apparently inherently illogical and irrational. I love that. Even the subtitle is disagreeing. You probably heard men say this, women are so emotional all of the time, despite them being emotional as well, as you can see in all of these videos, because we are humans and humans have emotions. I find it so interesting how they put logic and being rational above emotion, because you have to understand that if you are in a relationship which is inherently social, which is emotional, it is stupid and illogical to ignore emotion. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That was just one thought that I had the other day. But about this, the Real Game 1 guy, he has got to be kidding. I do not believe that he is actually serious with what he's saying, unless he has zero self-awareness, which is practically impossible because he's a man, right? No, but honestly, this spiel might be paying off. He seems to target a pain point of, I'm gonna say boys, because if you fall for this content, I'm not gonna be able to respect you as a man. So he's targeting the pain point of these boys who either were in a relationship and the girl cheated, or left him for a bad guy, or boys who want to be in a relationship but are unsuccessful in dating, which is a very big pain point because it is only human to want to feel connection and to feel loved. And because these boys are so hurt, it might feel good to them to hear all of this misogynistic stuff. because it consoles them in a way. It feels less personal to them, so the pain is more bearable. So the Real Game 1 has a very vulnerable target audience for his one-on-one dating coaching. And don't get me wrong, I don't excuse boys for falling for this kind of content. I just find it very interesting to analyze the potential reasons for people's behavior. Also, plot twist. Women aren't just irrational, we're apparently evil, manipulative masterminds too.
Women are master manipulators.
Who knew children were capable of that?
I remember the first video I saw of yours where you had the chart and then you talked about how a man's value as he gets older it goes up while a woman simultaneously declines, and then you guys intersect right around that 30 years old, and that's when she's trying to lock you down, because women know on an innate level that their values derive from their looks, and youth is a big part of that, and obviously they have a biological time clock as well.
Now, what we have to keep in mind here is that when they talk about value, apparently how we are supposed to interpret it is dating market value, which, I don't know, honestly, if you're a good person, I think you can find a date for you. I am not a scientist in this field, okay? I'm gonna leave that to the sociologists out there, but the way this is framed though seems like women get into relationships with men not because they love them, but because they are scared they are not gonna find anyone else in the future. That's how it's said, right? I find it so funny that these guys are always like, men are leaders and they are providers and they want a family. But then when a woman gets into a relationship with a man, it's not because she wants the family as well and he wants the family with her. It's because she locks him down, so to hurt him? I'm sorry. I don't like the way this is framed. So, to recap, as a woman, my highest purpose is to be a wife, but not just any wife. A silent, nurturing, hot but not too hot, domestic support unit who doesn't ask for too much and definitely doesn't work a full-time job. Then, once I've perfected my ability to serve, I must remember I am, at my core, a helpless child, an emotionally unstable, irrational baby who cannot function without strong male leadership. But also, I'm somehow a manipulative mastermind who's out to drain men of their resources, time, and sense of self, because I have to lock them down before my
biological time clock
runs out. I'm equal, but beneath, independent, but better off submissive. And honestly, I've learned so much. So thank you to all the alpha male TikTokers who took time off their bench press and podcast schedules to remind me of who I really am. But on a more serious note, I found some patterns that I wanted to share with you because all of these men just repeat the same information over and over. There is a discrepancy between what these men want from women and what they think women are like. They want women to be homemakers and supporters for their husbands or boyfriends and take care of the kids. They want them to be submissive and provide peace for the men. But what they think is that modern women are the exact opposite of that. They sleep around, they cheat,
They want to twerk in public.
and are evil and manipulative, and that's what dating coaches teach on TikTok and of course in the courses they sell to heartbroken teenage boys who happen to get cheated on. At least that's my speculation. And there is nothing wrong in wanting a more traditional relationship, but the problem is that this kind of content puts all women into a narrow box. All women have to be this to be good wives, but all women just go out with their girls to get hit on by other men, and that is just not true. There are women out there who want a family, and there are women out there who just want to party, and there are plenty of women out there who want both. These guys don't seem to view women as fellow humans with unique character traits, strengths and weaknesses, and I think realizing that would be the first step into the right direction. Bye.